Ruben, felt like best chances in the first half, best chances in the second half, best chances in extra time, and you still don't win the game. It must feel incredibly frustrating.
Yeah, it was tough, and everybody saw it that the players gave everything. We understood the game. Sometimes we drop a little bit the lines to stay compact, but we were. I think that the team was closer to the goal than the opponent. But in the end, we went to penalties, and penalties can go both ways. And today was not our day.
I think front to back it looked like everybody was on the same page, everybody was fighting together. We see more of that team spirit that seems to get stronger every week. Can you see that too?
Yeah, and I can see that in the first 35 minutes we play well with the ball. More possession, more confidence, finding the right spaces. There is a lot to improve, but you can feel that the team is more confident in playing better. But it's tough to deal with the losses, but we have to continue to the next competition.
It's even more difficult, I suppose, because of how many injuries that you've got and not having an awful lot of ways to change from the bench because you haven't got that many options available.
We need to focus that, and the important thing is that with our players on the bench, the team was closer to score more than one time, and so that is the most important thing to focus on the game, and we were there. So I don't want to use that excuse about injuries. We were there with the players that we have. Shido, great movement. There's a lot to improve. A little bit naive, but the movements inside the box was a good day for him. Not a good day for the team, but very important day for Shido, for example.
And just finally, how important is recovery now ahead of Thursday?
Yeah, now it's just recover, play Thursday, and then recover, play Sunday. That's it. We need to cope with all the competitions.
Ruben, thank you.
How long? Wayne Rooney, Micah Richards? 1908 it was. 1908. And Bernd Leno, the hero, saved 2 penalties. And massive disappointment once again here at Old Trafford, Wayne.
Yeah, I think, it sums up the season, really. Very disappointing. A great opportunity with the amount of teams, big clubs out in the competition this season already. Great opportunity for Manchester United to go through to a quarter-final and hopefully try and get some more success in this competition, but fell short. Two bad penalties, good saves from the goalkeeper, and Fulham advanced to the next round.
Great moment for Fulham, and it's mad they've never got any silverware, major silverware I should say, in their history. Who knows?
Who knows?
It's pretty open, this FA Cup now.
I mean, before the game started, I did pip them just to maybe win it. I didn't think it would go to penalties, but I thought in times of the games they didn't really do enough. I didn't think they was clinical in them forward areas, but they won't care. They're held and nerved in the right moment. Penalties were excellent, and it's just a massive win for them. And it sums up their season. In the Premier League, they've been excellent. They took that confidence from that, brought it to the FA Cup, and they're in the hat for the next round.
Yeah. Well, they certainly are. They'll be in with a chance. They'll be hoping for I don't know, you say home draw, but their away form's so good, isn't it?
Yeah, they're a better away than at home. The stats show that. I think, at times they like to play that counter-attacking football. But, yeah, I think they'll just enjoy tonight because it's a big win. I know Man United have not been the same as previous seasons, but to come to Old Trafford and get the win, they'll be happy with that.
Yeah, it just seems to get worse and worse here, though, doesn't it, Wayne?
Yeah, and I think the effect that, when you go to extra time, we see it can give you a lift. Or Fulham come away with the win, and it's very disappointing for Manchester United.
OK, we can hear from the Fulham hero. Bernd Leno is with Sarah Mulcahy.
Well, congratulations, Bernd. 2 fabulous saves to send your team through to the quarterfinals. How good does that feel?
Unbelievable. I think we deserve it to win it after 90 or 120 minutes, but of course penalties is sometimes a lottery, and luckily we won.
And then talk me through those 2 saves. Had you planned? Did you know which way they might go?
No, the goalie coach told me a couple of information, but I think my feeling is more important. And of course, there's sometimes a bit lucky. I went the wrong way 3 times, and but credit to our penalty takers as well. It's not easy after 120 minutes, and brilliant job from all of us.
And And after coming through a fight like this, do you believe you can go all the way?
100%. I think 2 years ago we lost here in the quarterfinal. Now we're back in the quarterfinal again, and yeah, let's see who we have to play. And yeah, we want to go to Wembley 100%.
Congratulations today. Well played.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Manchester United crash out of the FA Cup on penalties. It was a spirited display for much of a game which lacked a bit of quality from both sides, but in the end we went down to the lottery of a shootout, and this time it was Fulham who were victorious. And former defenders Wes Brown and Phil Barsley watching it with me, wherever you've been watching the game, probably feeling gutted like we are. Wes, effort, the work rate, what they tried to do to not just get back into the game after trailing by a goal to nil, but then to try and win it. Was it ultimately maybe just a bit of a lack of quality which has undone us today, and a shortage of players with all the injuries and a threadbare subs bench?
Yeah, well, listen, we got back into the game like you said, Sully, and it was still a tough match. It was pretty open for both teams. We had a few chances, they had a few, and ultimately it goes to penalties. And penalties, it's anyone's game, and we just couldn't quite get over the line. And it's disappointing to be out, because I think we definitely had the chances there maybe to score another goal, but again, we can do better. I think as a team we can do better, and it was a difficult game today, and we just couldn't get over that line in the penalties. I mean,
you cannot blame Victor Lindelof, who missed his spot kick, or Joshua Zirkzee, who also missed, and that goes to show things can happen in football. Joshua Zirkzee got the winner from the spot against Arsenal in that shootout, and he's missed today. Still got a great ovation from the Stretford end as he walked off to give him some support. You just cannot blame the penalty takers. It's just one of those things.
No, absolutely. Players obviously got the minerals to step up and take a penalty. It's what they do. Obviously, you got a defender stepping up there. Unfortunately for Vic, it wasn't to be. But as Wes said there, things happen in a penalty shootout. Listen, it's 50-50. Going into today, I was quite confident, to be fair. I felt we had enough on the pitch to win the football match. I thought we had chances, especially second half. Obviously, Chibo's come in, had a couple of chances. I thought he looked sharp when he did come on. But you're asking a lot for young players to come into a game like this. Like I say, we had the chance. It was just unfortunate not to get over the line. But like I say, penalty shootout, it's anyone's game.
I'm a little bit concerned. We'll ask the manager about it. He may not know too much about the injury situation, but you saw Harry come off at the end. Looked like potentially he was holding his calf area. We'll have to see about that. There will be some bumps and bruises after that gruelling 120 minutes, and we've got a huge game in the Europa League coming up. Yeah, listen, it's another tough game for us. 120 minutes plus penalties. It's a hard graft for the boys, and I think it's something we don't need is another injury. So obviously, I'm sure they'll be looking at that now and seeing how he is. But hopefully, he's fine, because he will be needed now for the next few games going ahead. In terms of the game in midweek, we were looking at Real Sociedad's result today. They were playing Barcelona away today, and they got a man sent off after 17 minutes and lost 4-0 to the Catalans. So, Sociedad, they've had a gruelling match themselves, playing the majority of it, over 70 minutes with 10.
Yeah, of course, it's never easy like we suffered on against Ipswich with 10 men. But I think we need to focus on ourselves. Obviously, we've got a bit of a patched up squad at the minute. We're missing, obviously, key members of the squad. We've got a few injuries. Hopefully, like you say, Harry's is not too serious, because he's a key member of the team. So I think the manager will address it after the game. Obviously, wrap a few in cotton wool, I think, Wes, won't he? And obviously get the troops right for, obviously, Thursday night.
Have you been both ends of a penalty shootout? I remember you winning penalties most famously in Moscow. Have you suffered a penalty shootout defeat?
Yeah, we've lost as well. FA Cup finals. So
2005 against Arsenal, we lost on spot
You
kicks,
just get on with it. It's disappointing. Anything can happen. Penalty shootouts is what it is. I've seen some of the best players in the world miss penalties. So you don't take any blame in that sense. You've got to look at the full 90 or 120 minutes and think about that, and work out why you couldn't win the game there. Penalties is penalties, and it's part of the game in the FA Cup, so you just have to deal with it.
Yeah, we did see Chido get minutes, and Aidan Heaven get on the pitch. He replaced Harry Maguire. And he showed some good moments, the young defender.
Yeah, we was talking while he was playing. Like, for a young player, his positional sense was outstanding. Got some really good clearances. And listen, if you're a young player at Man United now, you've got to make sure you're ready, because there's chances, there's opportunities. The manager's not afraid to throw you in. And listen, they both played their part today. Chibo obviously could have had a couple of goals, and Haven obviously some outstanding defending. So listen, they have to, obviously when they go with the first team, make sure they train well, train as hard as they can and make an impact. And you know, as we've seen tonight, the manager will give you an opportunity to play. He's not scared of that.
No, I mean, we were almost shouting for a penalty towards the end of regular times. Remember, Chido Obi got into a bit of a tussle, just flashed a shot across, desperately wanted to score, and we stood up, didn't we, thinking it was going to be a winning goal. Had he gone down, it might have asked a question.
Yeah, maybe, but listen, he's just thinking about the goal. You know, it's one of this is a young lad. We know what he can do from the under-23s, and he'll get more opportunities. And you know, at times he could have been a little bit calmer, but you can't fault him. He was in some good spaces. He did some good play. You know, good strength at times as well. And you're just looking to him to progress now, for future games.
The goal we conceded, a set piece again, it's been a bit of an Achilles heel for us, hasn't it?
Yeah, a little bit poor again, soft in defending. I think obviously the first contact, sometimes you can't do anything about the first one, but the second one you have to make sure you're picking men up. And you know, there's far too many times this season where we've been caught in set piece areas, whether it's from corners or free kicks. And you know, it's funny because obviously before the game we do a lot of work. Obviously we're in the warm-up and doing the set pieces and stuff, and you know, we just can't put it into practice, into games. I think over the course of a season we probably conceded far too many goals from them situations.
Our goal was scored by Bruno. You dread to think where we'd be without our talismanic captain, because he was everywhere again tonight. I'm just so impressed with his stamina, his fitness levels.
Yeah, I think we know about his fitness. You know, his top end of the scale. You know, he gets himself about it, gets us a goal. You know, he does put in great performances, and today it was tough at times, I think, for everyone. When we couldn't get the ball moving, we couldn't really get it up the pitch. I think Garnacho changed it a little bit as well.
At least he got at people a bit, didn't he?
Touching on that, I think Casemiro brought a bit of calmness when he come on as well. Just find a little pass and touch and find a bit of people talk about his legs and stuff like that, but he's got an intelligent brain and he knows when to calm it down and speed the play up. And I thought he was good today when he come on.
Ultimately, though, what do you think will be the message to the players from the head coach in there?
Listen, it is what it is. I think when it goes to penalties, anything can happen. You've somehow, you know, you've got to remember it, but you've got to put it straight back behind you. We have a very important game in Europa on Thursday, and you've got to be 100% concentrating on that now. Yeah, you can look tonight what you maybe could have done better, and that's the point. You try and improve something. You know, you might watch this game, see what you could have done better, and you make sure you do it better in the next one.
To say the least, and the amount of times both teams giving the ball away easily. Fulham take the lead right at the end of the half, but it was it was
surprising because Fulham have been playing well. We bigged them up before. United haven't been playing well here, so maybe more expected. But Fulham's levels were so far below where they've been at, you know, in terms of with the ball, without the ball. But at least now we've got something to talk about.
I think United did better defensively. I think their structure was a lot better. I thought Eriksen, the work he was doing, double up with Dalot, so Traore couldn't get them runs we used to seeing. But it's just that concentration. Again, we talked about Man United, about there's certain situations to get into, and just when you've defended all right as a team, when you go and give it away at the end, it's just typical of Man United.
Also, though, just you say that, but the lack of creativity. You can forget the mistake at the back later on. That's a set play. Okay, well, we'll have a look at that in a minute. But the lack of chances for Man United at home.
Well, they've only scored 3 in the last 18 first halves of games. So, you know, maybe they'll be a bit better in the second half. They'll certainly need to be. And 2 of those were on Wednesday. 2 of those 3. They've got a lot to do. Let's have a look at that. Opening goal of the game from Bassi.
Yeah, you know, we talk about concentration. He's left with loads of space. I think it's Muniz who gets the first header. But when you're marking zone, you still have to open up your body. Everyone is looking at the ball. Look at young Euro. I know he's only young, but you've got to get on the half turn, gets in behind him, and then Mazraoui is too late to react. If he stays in that space, Euro maybe he gets his head away. But just when you need to concentrate in the vital moments, I mean, it was just not good enough.
That desire from Bassey actually.
Yeah, I love his movement there.
Yeah, but also he actually has been one of the better players for Fulham. You know,
Definitely.
on the front foot, really dominating Højlund with his physicality and trying to win the ball back early. He's been probably the best player. That was a good goal.
Yeah,
good goal.
I wouldn't disagree with that. It's hard to find too many chances elsewhere. Lukic was the only other one that was probably of any real significance. It was.
Yeah, we've just highlighted him in this space, and you know, I mentioned Man United have defended a little bit better today, but it's just the organisation. Fernandes gets dragged across, ball watching, and all this space in the middle of the park, and then Dalot reacts too late, and that is a really good opportunity. You see it here, no communication from Man United, but a really good one from Lukic, and he just needs to get his head over it. I think he just maybe gets up a little bit too early and just, leaning back.
Yeah, it was a strange one. We've been looking for United chances that they've carved out, and there aren't many. Højlund early on got past the near post, but it wasn't a great opportunity to score. I mean, he's going through a tough time, isn't he, up front?
Yeah, he is, and I think his movement actually here is really good, and slightly past the near post, so I think he's quite unlucky on this one, but he's tried, he's making runs in behind, but I don't think Manchester United are getting players close enough to help him, and he's having to try and get hold of the ball and use his body. The Fulham defenders have done well against him, but he's making runs, he's willing. But again here, you see, he's a little bit isolated out wide. There's no one supporting him. You need someone in front of him here. He can just lay the ball off to, and then he can get back in the box. Again here, he gets hold of the ball now, but then this is sloppy. So for Manchester United, not just Højlund, Ziyech as well, who has given the ball away many times, and there's not enough creativity, and what's not being allowed is they're not getting hold of the ball to allow the midfielders and the defenders to get close to them to support them. So I think it's a bit of both.
So when you're struggling a little bit of half-time analysis is when you pick a centre-half out for switches in play.
Well, very good switches. Should have a look at them. I mean, I mentioned the formation before the game, but this is where he wants to be, in these positions here. And Eriksen's done ever so well going into that space and then leaving the space for Dalot. But this is a problem, and Wayne alluded to it before the game, is when you get into these areas, that's where you want a tricky winger. We've got Dalot who's right-footed playing left wing-back. Again, the movement from Eriksen, and it's a wonderful, wonderful pass. I think, obviously, it's something they've definitely worked on in training. But it's when you get in there, what are you doing with these opportunities? Recycle the ball, and then
that's
unlucky. No movement. He's unlucky, but
I think that's where obviously the recruitment for the system hasn't been made. So that's why I think next season,
be patient.
The recruitment for them positions, having the right players in the right positions. Now there's players who aren't in the right positions, and you're seeing them.
And Dorgu's suspended. He would have been more naturally left-footed, of course, for those situations we've just seen.
Of course. How does he change things now? Because he's going to have to go more on the front foot. Second half.
I think Garnacho's
the obvious one. You was going to talk.
Well, we
about
expected him to play, didn't we? Because of his pace and his dynamism. And I know you were talking about end product, but at least he gets in the positions with his willingness to run in
prior to the game said he's a bit of a knock, but there was that. The story about him having to, pay for the dinner because he stormed off with a hump the other day. So you wonder whether.
Yeah, but I'm surprised. Like, there's actually only Garnacho you can bring on, and you see Manchester United have left 2 players off the bench.
Yeah.
As well, which is really strange. They've got 2 keepers on the bench, so you wonder if there's actually a young lad in there who they can go and put on the bench, and for this situation, maybe last 5-10 minutes.
Do you think Ruben Amorim is making a point with that bench to the upper echelons?
Because normally what you do.
Point is, I need more
players or better players.
But then don't let so many go out on loan. Work with them, make them better.
Well, maybe that's the point he's trying to make.
When you've got players going out on loan, and if you can't motivate them and work with them and coach them, then it's partly your fault as well.
OK, I'm looking forward to this bit. The second half will be on the way shortly, but first something's made its way onto our desk. I wonder what this does. Apparently, if I use this, I can talk to Alan Shearer. There you go. Hi, Alan. Sorry about Newcastle.
Yeah, it hurts, but never mind.
Yeah, never mind. That poor first half, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a really poor first half from both teams. I thought, certainly in forward positions, lacking quality. The only one bit of quality I thought was that crossing from Iwobi from the left-hand side, and Lukic gets to that header. But then, no surprise, Man United again concede from a corner. So Fulham will have to continue to play on the front foot in that second half. But Man United are going to have to change because we've created very, very little, if anything.
The positive thing, though, Alan, I suppose, is that goal just before half-time. Things have to happen now, don't they? It's going to be better. Yeah,
they're going to have to do what they've done in the last couple of matches. They're going to have to come from behind. They did it against Everton. They did it against Ipswich here in the week. So they're doing things the hard way. But I have to say they've been really, really poor. Lots of misplaced passes. De Ligt's had 2 or 3 really good ones. But other than that, yeah, it hasn't been exciting at all for the Man United fans here in Old Trafford.
They're fairly limited about who they can bring on, but I think we might see Garnacho at some point.
Yeah, he looks to be the one, whether he was carrying a knock and not quite fit enough to start the game, but don't be surprised if you see him pretty soon.
Yeah, Fulham will be happy, though. They've got that all-important lead at half-time, particularly scoring at that time is always a bonus. How do you see them shaping up in the second half? Counter-attack style?
No, I think they'll take a lot of confidence from that. As I said, they even them misplaced a lot of passes, but that should give them great confidence to come out and get into forward positions, perhaps, and look to get another goal or two. And it wouldn't surprise me if they did.
Yeah. OK, Alan, thank you. Enjoy the second half. Can only get better.